PDP reconvenes, we should know who are in majority by counting those who are in majority. Right now, we don't know. It's an elusive thing. Nobody knows who is in majority, whether APC or PDP. So it's on speculation. It's been speculated. When we get there on Wednesday, according to the Senate President, they will know whether they have 73 numbers to carry out to try to impeach the President of the Senate.
They urge politicians to place national interest over personal interest.
They should not forget we, the Nigerians. We are there. Yes, they should talk of national security, vote and all that, but they should not forget that we, the human beings, we are still human beings, and we need somebody to talk about us, the human beings.
They should come, reconvene and sit as able to approve the INEC fund they needed for the election, so we can move this country forward. They should not hold us to stand still.
I'm bent that the senators are listening to the yearning of Nigerians, and they want to let the security forces, the power that may be, just stay aside and allow them to carry their job.
As the National Assembly prepares to reconvene, stakeholders are of the view that the law should be allowed to prevail over personal interest. Emmanuel Hijine, PTV News, Abuja.
And coming to join us, of course, has been Festus Onifade. These are two legal practitioners that would shed more light on the legality or otherwise of the situation that has been happening in the polity. You're welcome, Festus.
Thank you.
Come join us. And of course, Max has, being here with us before the break started. Now, let's take some steps back. Let's look at the worries, even what people are making mention of, the fact that the Senate President, the fear, you made mention of it, that the fear of the Senate President, to be impeached, that is what's happening or preventing some of the lawmakers. Now, let's look at his defection. Let's look at Section 68, Chapter 5, Part 1 of Section 68, the way that a seat can be made vacant. And then we had Paragraph G made mention of the fact, gave provision for defection, actually. Where it made mention of the fact that
where there's a division in the
yes, or a merger. So now let's look at what happened with RAPC. Let's look at the situation first with the APC to the PDP, and then look at the PDP to the APC. Would you say that has that been satisfied?
Well, in my opinion, there's no division in the there's no faction in the APC, right? There's no faction in the APC, but that in itself does not invalidate the defection. Remember that before now, a good number of people left the PDP. Joshua Daria, for instance, who was elected under the platform of the Labour Party, left the Labour Party and joined the APC. Senator Mo Agigi also left the Labour Party and joined the APC. Senator John Owaneno left PDP and joined the APC. Hope Uzodimma left the PDP and joined the APC. Senator Andy Uba, Anambra, left the PDP and joined the APC. Senator, what's her name from Anambra? Stella Udua, left the PDP and joined APGA and all of that. And nobody declared anyone's seat vacant. Even backward in the 7th Assembly, Professor Boroface left the Labour Party and joined the APC. Senator David Mark, who was the Senate President then, did not declare his seat vacant, and all of that. So yes, the law says, Section 68, like you said, and even judicial authorities say you cannot leave unless there's a division. But we have had cases where people left and nothing happened. So heavens shouldn't fall at this time.
Okay, yes, we'll make mention of the fact that, okay, this is what the law provides. And you have legal practitioners coming out, to call for said light to be shed.
Interpretation
One of your
of those
colleagues,
sections.
exactly, one of your colleagues even did that, Frank Tete. And so that even opens our mind, especially the ordinary Nigerians that did not know. Legal practitioners like you knew about this section, but ordinary Nigerians, never knew about that. Now they know that this had been there.
Should it continue?
Yes,
Should we
it has been
continue?
ignored in the past. Should we, follow that trend and continue, especially now where the leadership, is affected?
For me, I would say it's not really healthy for our polity. Continuous defection is not healthy, because at the end of the day, what are we trying to do? We are trying to build political ideology. We are trying to build political blocks and say, okay, to the right, to the left, these are the progressive and all that. But as it seems today, there is no clear division between the major political parties.
Not at all.
Everybody can crisscross whichever political party, depending on where their interest is best suited. So it's not about my interest or your interest or the interest of Nigerians. It's about what suits them. So for me, it's not very healthy. However, as it stands today, what the law provides is that once there is a division, and for me, my take is that on this issue of divisions, this issue of defection, you see, there have been a lot of judicial interpretation, whether the division has to be total. Just like my colleague here said, a lot of people are defected earlier. So, is it a mere minor disagreement or total division within the party that can lead you to defect? Now, for me, once there are some infractions within that political party and you think, I'm not comfortable here, as it stands, you can defect. So the law permits you to defect. However, the question is it healthy for our polity? I don't think so. I don't think it's something we should continue. I don't think it's a way we should tour. I think clearly there should be some kind of safeguard so that we can have a clear ideology. And you see, the fact, what makes a politician, what makes him defect from one political party to the other? What?
to be able to defect effectively, I have to prove that there's been a division or a merger in the party. What are we looking at to happen? Are we seeing, yes, we know that our constitution is not perfect in its totality, but isn't there a blind side to encouraging, because insinuations have come up, you know, to the reason why there was the RAPC and then this, all of these things. Are we trying to say a senator whose goal is to defect from the party that he is would now start going to court to go and start proving of some sort or laying the groundwork foundation for
No. The person defecting does not need to go to court.
Exactly.
It is when he is taken to court
Yeah.
that he will not justify that, look, I defected because there was a division in the party. And of course, our courts have said this issue of division is a matter of fact.
And okay, before we continue, we have a caller. You know, our Voxtel is open. Hello. Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Yes, please, your name and your contribution, please.
My contribution is that...
Your name first, your name first.
My name is Mohammed.
Okay, Mohammed, calling from?
Kwara State.
Kwara State, okay. Mohammed, what's your contribution?
Nasarawa State.
Nasarawa State, okay. Thank you, Mohammed from Nasarawa. So what's your contribution?
My contribution is that we want National Assembly to be confused and to follow the law abiding for the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because we change PDP because for what they are doing, for everything they are doing worse more than the PDP again. So we don't want that. We want the constitution for the rules and regulations.
All right. All right, Mohammed from Nasarawa, thank you very much for that contribution. And that before.
Yes.
And he seems to be a PDP sympathizer.
Yes, he made another point that we changed PDP because they were not doing well. Now APC is doing worse. I want to make a point here. The issue is not the political parties.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The issue is with
what
us.
Exactly.
It is the operators of the system
Exactly.
who are the problem. Ask Mr. Festus what is happening in the Nigerian Bar Association with the annual general elections. Serious issues.
With the election itself.
Sure. You
many
understand? And the
controversies.
MBA is, if you like, the most elitist professional association in Nigeria. Who cannot conduct, they cannot conduct a mere
election.
election.
Okay, I mean,
you
you have
understand? So it's not about Labour Party, it's not about ABGA, it's not about APC, it's not about PDP. It's about
the
us, the
people.
human beings who constitute these parties.
Okay, let's connect with our next caller. Hello there. Hello there. Hello, what is your name and where are you calling us from?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Alex. Hello, my name is Alex.
Alex, where are you calling us from? Hello, Alex.
Hello?
Could you turn down the volume of your television or walk away from a television set so we can stop having the call back?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, Alex, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from River State.
Okay, Alex, what is your question or your contribution?
No, my question is this: Saraki have left the APC for PDP, and I thought that Saraki is supposed to drop the leader of the mantle, the mantle. Since they have left the PDP, APC for the PDP, so you're supposed to drop the leadership. So I was thinking that is it not right like that? So I just want to know.
Okay,
is right or wrong.
All right, just stay tuned, Alex, and will you listen to Festus answer that question?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Is he not supposed to drop his seat as a Senate president?
You see, my challenge with Nigerians is that we need to get more politically enlightened. We need to know exactly the actions or their inactions, what it benefits the Nigerians. The fact that he has left his political party from one political party to the other doesn't mean that he should leave or he should vacate the office of Senate President. No. The constitution is clear about who becomes the Senate President. Senate President is to be elected among members, Section 50, among members of the Parliament, the Senate, and also the Speaker. Now, the question is, if he leaves, another person comes in, does it turn the table around economically? Does it turn the table around
not at all.
in terms of security, what you are facing? Does it turn the table around? Does it change all the dynamics and all the things we are seeing. No. So the question is that these politics we play, especially with the critical issues, and let's talk about it now. The issue that has to do with passing of the INEC budget,
yes.
That has remained more like a problem between the two arms of government. Does it solve the problem? No, it doesn't. And also we need to trace the emergence of Bukola Saraki to 3 years ago, how he emerged and how the party itself has been unable to manage that office very well in terms of their relationship with the executive. So that has been a major problem up to now, and APC is still suffering from that. And APC feel that, it should be so person, it shouldn't be him. And since it's him, since it has been him, we need to look for a way to get him out by all means.
So now, when he asked that question, he made mention of the fact that he had the question, and I'm looking at his question from the angle of, you know, that section G, where they say that, paragraph G rather, where they say that, okay, this in reality is not, you know, what happens. So what do we say about other, because someone else can wake up tomorrow and tell me that, okay, this is there in the Constitution, but since in reality, you know, we are not to enforce this, isn't that laying the precedence for, I don't know, a plethora of issues, or a wide door to be open that cannot be contained?
Wide door in terms of?
In terms of other aspects of, like, other laid down procedures that should be ignored. Let's look at the fact that a seat will be declared vacant. Let's look at that first, the paragraph that you know, gave us the section 68 before we had all of the other paragraphs. A seat in the House will be declared vacant on these
those circumstances.
Exactly.
Where there is division, where there is merger, and when the person in question vacates his office, either by appointment or
so now the stakeholders not doing, the stakeholders like not going, because the INEC has to be the one to determine that, okay, there was maybe a division or
no, not INEC. He's a presiding officer.
He's a presiding officer.
He's a presiding officer.
So the commission, yes.
Like my colleague that says, it's a question of fact. Yes. But the question that people have always asked is that, is it a total division? You know what they say, total division? Like you have a party having two conventions, having two chairmen at the same time. So that's the question. Or if there is a minor...
So with this difference that he just made mention of, what is it? If it's total, then it takes effect.
It's justified. But then, even that is like attempting to answer the question reasonable. You understand? When you say reasonable ground, reasonable suspicion, that reasonable has a lot of question marks. What is reasonable depends on who is looking at it.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So even total division also depends on who is looking at it.
But the question,
one judge in a court of first instance can say, oh, look, what happened in party A was a total division. The matter goes from there to the Court of Appeal, and the three wise men in the Court of Appeal will look at it differently. If it goes to the Supreme Court, they will also look at it differently. You know, so it is neither here nor there. You know, so going round, it takes us back to the same point. Everything depends on the discretion of the presiding officer. If he does not like your face and the actions you took, he declares your seat vacant, and heavens will not fall.
And the facts are due before him.
Yes.
And the question now is that there have been defections to throw and fro each of the parties.
Yes.
So why is this more important? Why should hell be let loose because of this defection? No. Why?
But it's quite significant, you know, we would say, because yes, this has been happening. The political parties have even come, you know, to play a central role in this. We have, you know, the APC chairman coming out to make some salient points, and also the PDP haven't been left out, you know, coming out with a representative to make statements.
Yes, you see, all the issues the national chairman of the APC has raised are moral issues. Right? Now, what happens in the National Assembly is governed and guided by law.
And their
rules. Okay.
Not morality.
Before you continue that thought, let's listen to the contribution. And hello there.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What is your name and where are you calling from?
It's Alex. I just called now.
Okay, yes. Alex, has your question been answered?
Yes, no. You didn't give me the answer I'm supposed to get.
Okay, so what answer are you expecting?
Please, yes. Or have you defected from PDP to APC. And Akpabio left his office as minority leader.
But he didn't leave his office as a senator, did he?
No. What in the office in the PDP as a majority? He left the office for them. And I was thinking that Saraki was wearing that crown based on APC. APC gave him the crown. You understand? Now he's leaving APC. It's just like when a son said that I don't want to give my father respect anymore. I want to leave his house. You can't do their own. Not the wearing the same crown and the still rude and it's not. So I want to get a real answer. You didn't give me the answer I'm supposed to get.
Alex, let me throw light on that. The position Senator Godswill Obodo Akpabio held was a party position, right? He was elected by PDP members
as a minority
in the Senate as their leader. So now that he has left that party, right, he cannot remain there. He has left the minority party to the majority party, for instance. So he cannot now continue leading those in the minority. Exactly. So that's different from the office of the Senate President. The Senate President was elected by all senators, including those who were in Labour Party at the time.
So it's a matter of nomenclature for Senator Akpabio, because you cannot continue to be a minority leader when you have changed to a different political party.
Yes, so that is correct. Yes,
completely distinguished.
Because most people, and it's quite good, Alex. We commend that particular question because most people they tend to blur the lines.
You cannot remain the head of human resources in People's Television while you have left People's Television and joined the services of CNN or BBC.
Exactly.
True. That is quite a salient question. Now let's look forward. Let's see what all that's been happening has been leading us to somewhere. Let's look at September 25th. What are we to see happen?
Well, maybe for Festus, maybe he has the gift of is it clairvoyance now?
Foresight.
Premonition.
Yeah, to be able to determine what will happen. You know, but looking at it ordinarily, we cannot say with certainty what will happen. But certainly, there's going to be a lot of drama.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of drama. I've heard by way of rumor, I've not seen it from any authoritative source, that Senator Godswill Akpabio's seat will be declared vacant. At least I listened to the publicity secretary of the PDP yesterday. He said we only got a letter from Senator Akpabio that he's resigning his position as the minority leader. He didn't tell us he was leaving our party, which means there may be something in the offing to declare his seat vacant. And once we make that mistake, we have set fire that we may not be able to control. You understand?
Yes.
I pray that what happened in the House of Reps when they attempted removing or in the process of removing Patricia Ete, I pray that doesn't happen because we lost a member of the House of Reps, a medical doctor from Katsina. Okay. You know, I mean, as a result of the free for all fight.
Okay, let's listen to this this contribution from a caller. Hello there. Hello there. Okay. Hello there. I think we lost the call. Yes, you can continue with your line.
Yes, so I pray that that doesn't that doesn't occur. Because if you look at what is happening, I don't see a lot of people in the Senate still submitting to the leadership of Senator Bukola Saraki. I also do not see supporters of Bukola Saraki letting go. I pray we don't have a stalemate in the Senate. Senator Shehu Sani said something about 2 weeks ago on in one of the television stations that those who want the Senate President removed do not have the numbers, and that even the other people do not have the numbers to remove the president. Okay. You know, he's a wise man.
Yes, but
so some people may be angling towards removing the president of the Federal Republic by way of impeachment. Some other people are angling to remove the Senate president. So none of the two contending parties, APC and the PDP, will have the numbers to do it.
Let's take this call right now. Hello there. Hello there. I think we lost the call.
Yeah, so there's likely to be a stalemate because right now everybody claims we have the majority, right? And you know there are people who lack courage, right? The day the House will reconvene,
That will be a different drama.
There may be some senators who will not be there. They are APC members, take it or leave it. Those who did not defect, those who are still in APC, who are loyal to Senator Bukola Saraki. There are also PDP members who do not like Senator Bukola Saraki's style. Right? But because people may not want to betray the people they represent. They may not want to come out openly on that day. Because that day, everybody must bear his father's name, like we say in local parlance. So some people may just stay away. Right? As we also say in local parlance, may they go fight the fight. When the dust settle, we appear.
Okay, how about you, Festus? Do you agree with that?
The issue of how the Senate president should be removed is also subject of some sort of controversy. Now, there have been some argument that it is the 2/3 majority of all the members. And the other argument is it is the 2/3 of members present at a particular sitting. So, at the end of the day, when eventually the House will reconvene, we are set for a drama.
Yes.
So it will not be determined on which would take. So imagine the way the Senate President itself emerges, the way he emerged, the last when
June 2015,
when the Senate President emerged. Not all the senators were there.
Yeah, about 54 of them.
Yeah, so they just the majority of them agreed. So the question now is it the majority of the members that will be present in a particular
House or the whole House? Okay, let's
remove
quickly take this call before we continue on that. Hello there. Okay, I think the connection is quite bad, and they're trying to reach us.
So as we go and look forward to the days ahead, like my learned colleague here has said, we look forward to some sort of drama, real drama. And you see, the chairman of the ruling party, Adams Oshiomhole, is also talking with some sort of venom that the Senate President must be removed, and he has not backed down. And the Senate President is saying, "You cannot remove me."
Okay, so let's quickly take this call and answer this question, because for want of time, I want us to be able to answer as much questions as possible. Hello there.
Hello.
Hi. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Honorable Shagai Serkis from Adamawa State.
Okay. And what is your contribution or your question? Hello. Your question or your contribution? I think we lost that call there. Sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Festus, the issue of what makes up
the quorum,
two-thirds has been settled by the Court of Appeal in the National Assembly and President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I'm aware of that judgment.
Yes.
Yes, that is the 2/3 majority of all the members. I'm aware.
For Senate, 73, House of Reps, 240.
I'm aware of that judgment. But you know, in spite of that judgment, there are still people that are saying, no, it has to be the members present at any particular, and the people who were pushing for this argument are saying, after all, the present Senate President emerged from 2/3 or the majority of the members present in a particular sitting, not the whole members. So it's an argument that neither here nor there, and at the end of the day, if such action is taken, you know, in Nigeria they'll say go to court. So you go to court while the new Senate President President continues.
And you see people switching loyalty.
Of course.
That is quite scary, seeing that as the future of our polity. I know on today's episode, of course, Festus Onifade and Max Oga have done their best, to shed more light. For want of time, we cannot take all calls, we cannot, get all the contributions, but I'm sure from all the facts that they've laid out, from what we have as a provision, and from what we see as the reality, given the judgment, like they said, National Assembly and the President, they're saying it has to be, that is the judgment that has been given. The insinuations from those saying it has to be the members sitting, they are just insinuations, like Festus said. If you have a problem, you take it to court. I know that more questions are going to be coming up in our minds come September, 25th. And of course, like I said, we are on ground at the National Assembly currently observing if anything is going to go, happen, even though they came out to say that they are not going to be meeting or sitting today. I'm sure, of course, you being locked in on PPTV Situation Room today, you've been enlightened. You've known more. There's some blurry lines that have been there that even I myself, have, been clarified on. For want of time, I want to say thank you very much once more, Max Oga and Festus Onifade. Of course, you would definitely come back on the program, to talk more and shed more light on this. It has been a wonderful, wonderful episode today. And of course, same time, same station next week. I remain Aisha Jibrin. Bye for now.
My name is Femi Anikula Pokuti. This is just to tell you, beg you, plead with you, don't let anybody lure you into being violent. It's very important for us to have a peaceful elections. We need to think about the future of this country, of our children. We can be a great nation. And the first step is desist from being violent. Let's have a peaceful elections.
On Facebook, like our page and share our posts at People's TV NG. On Twitter, follow us at PTV_NG. Follow us on Instagram at PTVNG. Watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel, People's TV. Visit our website, www.ptvng.com. Subscribe now and join the conversation online. People's TV, people's preferred station.
Do you know that PTV remains the best place to showcase those lovely goods and services of yours? Yes, with our visibility in 36 states of Nigeria and over 50 countries of the world, we definitely have the talent reach. What are you waiting for? Book your adverts now. Call us with the number displayed on your screen.
People's Television, your people's preferred station, powered by you.
For innovative research-based analysis, fresh news and programs, join us on PTV, the People's Oriented Station, transmitting on Star Times Channel 120, showing across 36 states in Nigeria, and Channel 77 on Strong Decoder across 52 countries. Yes, you asked for it. Now you have the best of television. You can also follow us on our social media platforms showing on your screen. People's Television, powered by you.
Soldiers helping Nigerian soldiers fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislatures.
This is coming together of people who are confused.
Executive order should comply with the law. I personally dissociate myself completely.
From this interview, because you have said
there had hardly been any administration.
Practitioner well explains the end of justice about any
no religious body in Nigeria
validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is
And here we go then. Great atmosphere and the allure and glamour of this international champions cup. Rashford inside the area, Rashford scores! Well, he cut home by Marquinhos, Chiellini has scored. Pastore in the box, and Mondi! Iwobi, yes, Arsenal levelling. Shot from distance, oh what a goal! An absolute doozy.
It's new, it's here. It's premium entertainment for everyone from August 1st. Get popping every day with Ebony Life TV. Mondays are from Nollywood. Tuesdays are for novellas. The Next Generation have a blast on Wednesdays. Thursdays are for drama. Fridays are there to excite you and binge every weekend.
Sunana Yakubu, amma an fi sani na da Yax. Abu mafi mahimmanci shine har yanzu muna zaune da ƙwayar cutar polio a ƙasar mu. Wasu sun san digon rigakafin polio, wato digo biyu da ake bada na baki. Wasu kuma ba su san da haka ba. Wasu suna tunanin wannan digo guda biyu sau ɗaya kawai ya wadatar. Shin digo biyu ya wadatar? Bari mu bincika. Yaya aiki?
Lafiya kalau.
Digon mai guda biyu kawai zai isa soya kosai?
Ba zai isa ba.
To, ta ce ba zai isa ba. Ina zuwa. Na gode. Shin za ki amfani da digon nono guda biyu kawai ki dama fura?
A'a ba zai yiwu ba gaskiya. Saboda nonon ne yake taimakawa wurin dama furan.
Na gode. Tambaya nake shin digon ruwa biyu kawai zai isa haɗa shayi?
Ai ba zai yiwu a haɗa ruwa da shayi da digon ruwa biyu ba. Dalili kuwa ai ba zai isa mutum ba. Dole sai ya kai kaman kofi ɗaya.
Barka da.
Barka gare.
Da Allah tambaya nake so yi.
Allah sa na sani.
Shin digon man fetur guda biyu digon man fetur guda biyu zai isa ya sa wannan mashin aiki?
A'a ba zai sa shi aiki ba gaskiya.
Dalili fa?
Saboda ai bai wadace shi ba.
Haba.
Kwarai da gaske.
To nan ina zaka?
Dan je nan bayani.
Da Allah barin bi ka. Allah bai na wani.
Lafiya Allah.
Kwayan gishiri biyu kadai. Shin zai isa ya sa naman nan daɗi?
A gaskiya ba zai isa ya sa naman nan daɗi ba. Sai an ɗan sa gishirin da yawa tukuna sannan a haɗa sannan ya garwaye naman har ya yi daɗi.
Na gode. Kuma yadda muka je, ɗigo biyu kawai bai sa ya wadatar da wani abu mai ma'ana ba. Haka ma ɗigon rigakafin polio. Dole ne yaro ko yarinya su samu ɗigo biyu akai-akai na rigakafin polio. Wannan ɗigo biyu akai-akai shi zai wadatar wajen kare yaro ko yarinya daga kamuwa da cutar koko kowace irin cutar polio.
Hello, welcome to PTV Today. I am Aisha Jibrin. The United States Mission in Nigeria has begun a week-long training for 44 clinical oncologists on cancer treatment. Acting Cultural Affairs Officer at the Embassy, Malia Horus, declared the training open in Abuja. The mission is partnering with Project Pink Blue, a non-profit organization, for the program.
This is one piece of good news for cancer patients in Nigeria. The U.S. mission says the training will be led by 2 American medical oncologists who will equip participants with all necessary information on cancer treatment.
Chemotherapeutic pharmacology is a huge topic, and these slides are not all-inclusive. We're going to talk about the most common traditional chemotherapeutic agents. We'll talk about the mechanism of action, some clinical pearls, and common and important side effects with these medications. So when we look at compartment tumor growth, we know that the most sensitive tumors to chemotherapy have a high growth fraction and low tumor burden. And as patients' tumor burden increases, they go from having a potential to cure to developing symptoms and ultimately succumbing to their disease.
The training is a result of partnership between the Nigerian government and Project Pink Blue to fight cancer, which has been recognized to be a critical health problem in the country.
Your efforts are just top grade, and on behalf of the patients and the citizens of this country, would like to show our appreciation. Just to let you know also that this program has been in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health from inception to this moment, and it has our full backing and support. I'd like to thank the project management team led here by Professor Lassinde for all your efforts. It is our hope that our physicians and all those health professionals involved in cancer care will benefit greatly from this endeavor, and that we hope that this is the first in a long collaboration, that it doesn't just end here. Maybe we can do it once, twice, or even quarterly.
It is now we have a paucity of radiotherapy facilities in the country at the moment. So right now it's only National Hospital and Eco Hospital, that has radiotherapy facilities, which is important in treatment of cancer patients. So yes, we do have such challenges. And then also in terms of awareness, I don't think we've done enough on that. We can't have enough of awareness, so we keep, we keep working on that, hoping that everybody will, be more informed about cancer, not just the cancer patients, but also the relatives as well.
With this initiative, the U.S. government will be impacting Nigeria's cancer control effort in order to scale up the rate of surviving the medical condition.
Some residents of one of the communities affected by a new cholera outbreak in the FCT are pleading with the authorities to provide them with potable water. This, they say, will go a long way to stemming the spread of the disease in the community. Paulum David visited Pape and brought back this report.
This is Pape, one of the communities affected by a new cholera outbreak. Many residents say they are not surprised and attribute this to lack of potable water and poor hygiene.
Surprised that, something is happening in Pape because, in my area where I stay, the drainage there, is not good, and the environment there is unkept. So I think we could attract, such element.
Well,
You understand? Now well, with the fish water for. Like this rainy season now, so our wife used to go to river and fish water. Do you understand? Dry season, we don't have water, we have to buy from Merua. So those Merua now, they used to go to, what is that called? Borehole. You understand? Fish from there and be selling for us. So me, I don't know anything about tap water in Pape here. Part of that is
area in this Pape. There is a soccer way near the drinking water. You understand me? And there is not good. So we are calling for the government to help us to give us a good water and a good road in this place. You understand me? Yeah. Yes, it's people that build it because there's no much land. You understand me? To put a soccer way different place and you put the how they call it, the drinking water in another place. So everywhere is everything is near each other. You understand me? And then everything, the soccer way and the ball is the same ground that they will dig, and then the water will penetrate to each other. So cholera can break out of the something.
A trip deep into the suburb shows how bad the water situation here is.
This is Nukushi community, a suburb in Pape here in the FCT. Now this waterway we see here is the primary source of water supply to the residents of this community. 11-year-old Abdul and his brother are here to take their baths. Now the residents say apart from taking a bath here, they use this water for washing of their plates, clothes, although they don't drink it. They say they drink from the wells around here. But the thing is, this water still finds its way into these wells. We even see the residents competing with animals for this water. Now this explains how the cholera bacteria gets into this community.
Not even the people here are shocked that Pape is one of the 4 Abuja suburbs listed as cholera endemic areas.
This river water, they take them, they wash clothes, use and they bath. And as they use and they bath, the water not good for our body, they cause boil. They cause crocro for body. I want the government provide good water for us and for drinking good water.
It's very good, it's very useful because we use the water to wash plates, to wash clothes, to at least to do some domestic work. It's only that we don't use to drink it. We don't use it for drinking and we don't use it to cook. So we have some bowl here, at least we have like 2-3 bowls here. That is where we used to get our drinking water and water that we used to cook from. So we used to call some Merua from far. They will bring water here for us. So we use that one for drinking and for cooking.
Many non-Abuja residents may not necessarily know that this is one of the closest satellite towns to the city center. Pape is quite close to the highbrow Maitama district, but the gap between the two areas in facilities is quite glaring. Paulum David, PTV News, Abuja.
The U.S. Embassy in Nigeria says it has shut down its visa and consular services section in Abuja until further notice. The embassy, which did not give any reason for the action, the message posted on its website said that scheduled visa and American citizen services applicants for Abuja will be contacted for rescheduling. According to the embassy, American citizens in northern Nigeria with urgent travel needs who are traveling before Tuesday and are willing to reschedule their travel through Lagos should contact the ACS office in Lagos. A chieftain of the People's Democratic Party in Kaduna State, Abdurrahman Usman, has identified lack of internal party democracy in discipline and injustice as some of the factors responsible for the gale of defections in the country. He made the observation while fielding questions from correspondents in Kaduna on the political developments. Amina Nebi has more in this report as presented from our studios. Okay, details of that report will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletins. National Chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Adams Oshiomhole, is not prepared to back down on his stance that the minority cannot rule over the majority. He reaffirmed his position after a 3-hour-long meeting with members of the party's National Assembly caucus in Abuja. Oshiomhole also berated the two leaders of the National Assembly for adjourning when important issues had not been discussed.
He told you that is the truth. I did promise, that we will try and promote meetings of party caucus. And today we decided to have, perhaps for the first time, a joint session of the APC caucus in the House of Rep and in the House of, in the Senate Of course, we know that many senators and House members are away on vacation. Some have traveled for pilgrimage, but those who were around are present, and I'm very happy with the level of attendance. And the key issue is simply to make the point that we act as a party when we meet together. When we talk without meeting, we talk as individuals. And the logic of party is, you need meetings to be able to hear people out and to find common ground on common issues affecting not only our party, but much more importantly, affecting the way in which this country is governed and the responsibility of a governing party to continue to do any of those things that will improve the quality of life of the Nigerian people, which is the primary purpose for seeking power and for which Nigerians elected our party. Of course, it's no secret that by the time the presiding officers of the two arms of the National Assembly hurriedly adjoined the Senate, there were a couple of issues that are of extreme national importance that has to do with the welfare of Nigerians, that have to do with sustenance of democracy, namely the funds required for the federal government to invest in infrastructure.
It's a meeting of the National Assembly caucuses of the Senate and the House, APC, with the National Working Committee presided over by the National Chairman, as it were. The essence and focus of the meeting was to ensure that this family continues to remain united and stable, that we continue to do what will be in the interest of Nigerians, that we continue to support our party and the policies and programs of our administration led by President Muhammadu Buhari, that we insist in the given situation that the National Assembly reconvenes for us to be able to address the request of Mr. President for development and supplementary budget request, which will definitely cover most essential areas like the request of INEC for preparations of the 2019 general elections. Also, the request of Mr. President for the approval by the National Assembly of foreign loans that will be funding the capital aspect of the budget 2018. And of course, some of the crucial and critical appointments that we need to confirm in the Senate particularly, because we must ensure that we do what is in the best interest of Nigerians. We have sworn to support our administration, and we will do everything possible to ensure that the National Assembly reconvenes. We are calling on the leadership of the National Assembly, particularly the two presiding officers, that the National Assembly reconvenes immediately so that we are able to do this in the
The All Progressive Congress says the reluctance of Senate President Bukola Saraki to reconvene the National Assembly borders on high treason. The party made these claims in a statement issued by its spokesman Yekini Namena in Abuja. APC argued that the decision not to cut short the lawmakers' recess is an act of abuse of power by Saraki and Speaker Yakubu Dogara. It's noted the decision was based on the need to pursue selfish interests above that of the nation. APC also claimed that the Senate President had been working through proxies to buy over its senators for 100 million naira each. The ruling party, however, reaffirmed its intention to impeach Saraki and added that it would show off the support of two-thirds of the Senate in collaboration with members of PDP. The presidency is insisting the 2018 electoral bill passed by the National Assembly is still alive and awaiting assent. The bill was passed on July 24th and forwarded to President Buhari on August 3rd, but a national newspaper claimed that the president had withheld its assent. But Senior Special Assistant to the President of National Assembly Matters, Ita Enang, maintained that his principal had not vetoed the bill rather. He said the one vetoed was the one with continuous provisions and infractions on constitutional provisions. In line with the information passed out by the National Assembly leadership earlier on Tuesday, there was no sign of activities at the legislative complex. Federal lawmakers were believed to be prepared to reconvene on Tuesday to discuss the 2019 election budget and other national issues, but the atmosphere can can best be described as calm, with only parliamentary staff and security on ground, with a small group of regular security personnel. The presidency has denied major reports that some foreign powers were pressurizing President Muhammadu Buhari not to seek re-election. Special advisor on the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, made this known in a statement in Abuja. In major reports that claimed that the United States, Britain and Saudi Arabia were putting pressure on the president not to run for office again was false. But Adesina maintained that all those countries hold President Buhari in high esteem. He said only those who fear electoral laws are trying to dissuade the president from running. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar says he is qualified but not desperate to be Nigeria's president. Atiku, who spoke in Benin during a meeting with PDP delegates, said he was the right ideas to address Nigeria's challenges. The former Vice President said there was nothing wrong if he chooses to enter the race for Aso Rock as many times as possible, stressing that if he was desperate, he would have taken the presidency in 2003 when he stepped down for late MKO Abiola. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has registered 23 new political parties, bringing the total number of parties to 91. The parties include Advanced Alliance Party, Advanced Nigeria Democratic Party, African Action Congress, Alliance for United Nigeria, Alliance of Social Democrats, Alliance National Party, Allied People's Movement, and Alternative Party of Nigeria. Others are Change Nigeria Party, Congress of Patriots, Liberation Movement, Movement for Restoration and Defense of Democracy, Nigeria Community Movement Party, Nigeria for Democracy, People's Coalition Party, Reform Advancement Party, Save Nigeria Congress, and the United Patriots. INEC also registered United People's Congress, We the People Nigeria, Yes Electorate Solidarity, Youth Party, and Senate Labour Party. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has ordered an immediate reorganization of the Police Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SAS. He has also directed the National Human Rights Commission to set up a special panel on alleged unlawful activities of SARS. This follows persistent complaints bordering on human rights abuse attributed to the operatives. Osinbajo specifically directed Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris to overhaul the management and activities of the Special Police Team. The presidency statement indicates that the acting president expects an intelligence-driven unit to emerge from the process. Osinbajo wants the activities of the new SAS to be restricted to the prevention and detection of armed robbery and kidnapping. The acting president has also directed the IGP to ensure that all operatives in the emerging unit conduct the operations in strict adherence to the rule of law. The operatives, according to the new directive, are expected to bear proper identification anytime they are on duty. Few minutes after the presidential directive, Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris announced that SARS operations will be restricted only to armed robbery and kidnapping cases. Police spokesman Jimoh Moshood said in a statement that there would be an immediate medical and psychological evaluation of all SARS personnel nationwide. He added that the operative were also to put an end to stop and search operations as well as wear a new uniform with identity name tags. Moshood also disclosed that the IG has approved the appointment of a new Commissioner of Police as the overall head of the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad. He noted that SARS would henceforth be under the Department of Operations at the force headquarters Abuja, unlike the previous arrangements where it was answerable to the Force Criminal Intelligence and Investigations Department. The head of the SARS team would, according to the police spokesman, report to the Inspector General through the Deputy Inspector General in charge of operations. In Kaduna State, the police says detectives are on the trail of bandits who ambushed and killed 4 operatives. The personnel were ambushed on patrol in the Rigasa area of Kaduna State. Police spokesman Yakubu Sabo said no efforts would be spared to get the culprits. Now moving away from that, the Nigerian Army has uncovered a social media account allegedly used by Boko Haram for its recruitment exercise. The artillery commander of Operation Lafia Dole, Major Mutala Usman, disclosed this to Nigerian Army Combat Support Training Week in Maiduguri. Usman said the account had 2,000 followers and was discovered during the interrogation of a highly placed Boko Haram commander named Malu Maiman Bade. According to him, recruitment through popular social media handles was employed by the Al-Banawi faction to conscript members. A vacation judge, Justice Ijoma Ojukwu of the Federal High Court Abuja, has adjourned the hearing on the suit challenging the Presidential Executive Order No. 6 of 2018 till August 6th. Justice Ojukwu fixed the date to allow the plaintiff exhibit the order, which was the matter in contention, as well as ensure that all processes were regularized. Counsel to the plaintiffs, Obed Agu, informed the court that he was yet to attach the order to the processes he filed earlier because it was in custody of the defendants. Kwara High Court in Ilorin has restrained the State House of Assembly from investigating allegations of certificate forgery, fraud, and issuance of dog check against the member Saheed Bukwola. Justice T.S. Omar, in a motion ex parte filed by Bukwoola's counsel Salomon Jawundu, ordered the Assembly not to engage in any act that could deny the lawmaker his privileges. Bukwola is representing Ojumo Balogun constituency in Offa local government area. He is the only member who did not defect to the PDP with other 23 lawmakers. More than 50 houses were destroyed in Dekindari town in Suru, local government area of Kebbi, on Monday night by heavy downpour that resulted to flooding. The late-hour rain rendered many people homeless in the town. Executive Director of the State Emergency Management Agency, Rabiu Kamba, said in Benin Kebbi on Tuesday that no death was recorded so far. He added that officials from the agency had visited affected areas to assess the damage done by the rain. Kamba warned residents against using contaminated water from the wells as it has been contaminated by the flood. The management of the Federal University of Technology, MENA, has sacked one of its lecturers, Omanai Yunusa, for sexually harassing a female student. Deputy Director of Information and Publications, Lydia Legbo, said the dismissal was approved at the University Council meeting. She added that it was after an investigative panel constituted by Vice Chancellor Abdullahi Bala found Yunusa guilty of inappropriate relationship with the student. Experts are concerned about the trend of drug abuse in many parts of the country. They want more effort to be paid to creating more and dangers of the menace. These experts are equally worried about cultism among young people.
The theme for this year's International Youth Day 2018 is Safe Spaces for Youths. And this is how the day was celebrated in Otukpo town in Benue, North Central Nigeria. The event is geared towards encouraging the youths to own their future and stay away from negative tendencies.
Like you see me smiling, I feel great because I have learned a lot. I've seen so many things happening here and it has impacted me and initiated some positivities in me. I would like to say I'm highly delighted to be here, and I count it a privilege and thanksgiving to God for this great opportunity.
Speakers at the event also used the occasion to advise the youths on the dangers of cultism and drug abuse.
My advice to the youth of Benue State and environs is to key into what we had started already, advising the youth on the fundamentals, on the how to live in positive, staying away from alcohol, staying away from violence, staying away from cultism.
By giving them encouragement to encourage others, it's not going to stop here. It's going to be a network thing here in Otukpo, so that other youths in other parts of the country would see what they're doing, come together and have a formidable force.
The 2018 International Youth Day is over, but what is left to be seen is how the youths will take advantage of the opportunities available to them at the moment.
With less than 1 week to the Eid el-Kabir celebration, hundreds of ram traders are already in the Federal Capital Territory for business. PTV's Emmanuel Bagudu visited one of the ram markets in the Apo area of the FCT and filed in this report.
Okay. It's less than 1 week to the Eid el-Kabir celebration, and of course, since the ritual sacrifice of ram is inevitable every year during the Eid el-Kabir celebration, of course, sellers of rams, of course, traders of rams, have thronged the city center, with thousands and hundreds of rams here coming in from different states, from Bauchi, from Katsina, from Kano, from Zamfara, from Gombe. Of course, the reason being that, the business of ram here is more lucrative than it is in their various states.
Hassan Al-Mustafa has traveled from Zamfara to Abuja to sell his ram. Though he has been in the business of selling ram for over 10 years, Al-Mustafa claimed there is more money to make in the FCT than Zamfara, where he came from.
Wannan haraka na fara ta tun 2007.
I've been in this business for more than 10 years now. The business has been very lucrative. I have a family, I have a wife, and I have a very big house. The business is more lucrative in Abuja than Zamfara, where I come from.
But for these traders, it is not business as usual. They claim that poor patronage is affecting the business at the moment.
We are expecting more people to come and buy from us as past sellers that last year seller, last 2 years seller. By this time now, around maybe today's seller is up to 9 to 10 days. But last year by this time, people are coming from town, customers are coming and buying from us. But this year, the seller is coming close, but customers, we are not seeing more customers. We are praying for God to give people money to people come and patronize us so that our ram will not be left with us, so that everyone will patronize us.
This year, ram is cheap, not be like this year, last year. Like this ram now, we sell them like this one, 80, 85, this big one. Because now everybody they cry, say money no dey, money no dey. So because of that they would reduce. Even this ram we bring now, plenty like that, like last year. And inshallah we go bring them. Maybe tomorrow, honest tomorrow, we see the plenty ram here.
For now, prices of rams ranges from 15, 20, 30 and 50,000 naira for low and middle income earners, while high income earners will have to pay as high as 120,000 naira to get a ram from the market. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation plans to establish 1,000 barrels per day brownfield refineries in Port Harcourt and Warri. This, it says, is to boost local refining of crude oil in the country. NNPC spokesman Ndu Ugamadu disclosed this in a statement in Abuja. Ugamadu said the effort was part of the corporation's Refineries Coalition initiative designed to boost local refining capacity to end the era of petroleum product importation. He quoted the group managing director Mekenti Baru as saying that some investors had commenced the process of relocating some refineries abroad to the country. The National Bureau of Statistics says the average price paid by consumers for automotive gas oil decreased from 204.97 in June to 204.32 in July. The NBS disclosed this in its automotive gas oil price watch for July 2018 report released in Abuja. The report shows that the price of diesel decreased by minus 0.32% month-on-month and increased by 3.39 year-on-year. It also said the states with the highest average price of diesel were Borno and Abuja, Adamawa and Nasarawa recording low diesel prices. On money market, the Debt Management Office says that there are more funds available for lending to the private sector by local banks. The DMO also said that it recovered about 840 billion naira of the Nigerian Treasury bills. The Director General of the office, Patience Oniha, says this during a media conference in Abuja. She added that the activities of the organization has resulted in lower interest rates for the benchmark of the federal government securities from 18.5% in January to 2017 to between 11 and 14% in the first half of 2018. Oniha said that as of June 30th, the nation's public debt stock 22.38 trillion naira, representing a marginal increase in the 3.01% from December 2017. She further explained that the figure represents total public debt incurred by the federal government, the 36 states, and the Federal Capital Territory. On cybersecurity, the federal government says it is setting up a risk-based cybersecurity framework for financial institutions in the country. This is aimed at countering the high rate of internet fraud. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, made this known at the Nigerian JP Morgan Chase Cybersecurity Conference in Abuja. Emefiele maintained that the framework would ensure correct cybersecurity data banking systems across the country. However, the Cafe Center for Strategic and International Studies posted the annual cost of cybercrimes in 2017 at $600 billion worldwide, as hackers, criminal marketplaces, and cryptocurrencies theft multiplied. And starting off a foreign scene in Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe's ruling party, ZANU-PF, has filed papers opposing the MDC alliance challenging the presidential election result. Official results show that President Emmerson Mnangagwa won 50.8% of the votes compared to opposition MDC alliance leader Nelson Chamisa, who got 44.3%. The MDC alliance says the poll was marred by mammoth theft and fraud, but the Electoral Commission insists that there was no skullduggery. ZANU-PF lawyer says the MDC alliance challenge came too late as the papers were filed on Friday afternoon. Mnangagwa has been hoping the elections would legitimize his rule after his taking over amid a military intervention that saw Robert Mugabe resign in November as president after 37 years in power. On U.S. elections, a former energy executive in Vermont has taken a major step towards becoming the first ever transgender governor of a U.S. state. Christine Hallquist defeated 3 other candidates, including a 14-year-old boy, to win the Democratic Party nomination on Tuesday. She will now face the incumbent Republican governor, Phil Scott, in the general election in November. Hallquist's nomination comes in an election year already marked by record numbers of lesbian, gay, and transgender candidates. And after Italy, rescuers in the northwestern Italian city of Genoa continue to search for possible survivors after the dramatic collapse of a motorway bridge. The Interior Minister said at least 37 people were killed when dozens of vehicles fell 45 meters, which is equal to 148 feet, above 16 people injured in the collapse of a number of Misan ranges from 4 to 12. About 250 firefighters from across Italy are taking part in the search using sniper dogs and climbing gear. More than 400 people have been evacuated amid fears other parts of the bridge might fall. In the UK, the man being held on suspicion of terrorism after the Westminster car crash has been named as Sahil Qatar by government sources. The 29-year-old British citizen, originally from Sudan, is being questioned in southern London. Police have been searching 3 addresses in Birmingham and Nottingham as part of the investigation. 3 people were injured after the vehicle hit cyclists and pedestrians during Tuesday morning rush hour. A silver Ford Fiesta then crashed into security barriers outside the Houses of Parliament just before 7:40 British Standard Time. The suspect is not believed to have been known to MI5 or counter-terrorism police, but is understood to have been known to local police. In Ecuador, no fewer than 23 people died in a bus accident. Another 14 people are injured in the morning incident in a country road 40 kilometers east of Quito. The fire department spokesman said the bus collided with a small lorry and tipped over. The majority of the victims are Colombians and Venezuelans. 10 women have been killed in a fire in nursing home in Chile. The fire broke out early Tuesday in the home, which is situated in Changueñate, a city 500 kilometers south of the capital, Santiago de Chile. MO said 10 women who died had not been able to flee the fire because they had difficulty walking. A security guard is quoted as saying that he has heard an explosion shortly before the fire broke out, indicating that it may have been caused by an electrical short circuit. And in Australia, a former Australian Archbishop found guilty of concealing sexual abuse of children in the 1970s will not have to serve a sentence in prison. He would instead be allowed to do it at home. Philip Wilson was sentenced to 1 year in jail for helping cover up crimes by priest Jim Fletcher in the Hunter region of New South Wales State. Magistrate Robert Stone ruled that Wilson will not need to spend time behind bars with his age and prior good record taken into account. Wilson will be detained at his sister's house for at least 6 months before he is eligible for parole. He will have to wear a tracking device during this time. Wilson, who was found guilty in May, became one of the highest-ranking Catholic Church officials to be convicted of covering up child abuse. And that's the Sizewell Bulletin this hour. Many thanks for watching. I am Aisha Jibrin.
On Facebook, like our page and share our posts at People's TV NG. On Twitter, follow us at PTV_NG. Follow us on Instagram at PTVNG. Watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel, People's TV. Visit our website, www.ptvng.com. Subscribe now and join the conversation online. People's TV, people's preferred station.
Did you know that PTV remains the best place to showcase those lovely goods and services of yours? Yes, with our visibility in 36 states of Nigeria and over 50 countries of the world, we definitely have the tallest reach. What are you waiting for? Book your adverts now. Call us with the number displayed on your screen.
You're watching People's Television, your people's preferred station, powered by you.
For innovative research-based analysis, fresh news and programs, join us on PTV, the People's Oriented Station, transmitting on Star Times Channel 120, showing across 36 states in Nigeria, and Channel 77 on Strong Decoder across 52 countries. Yes, you asked for it. Now you have the best of television. You can also follow us on our social media platforms showing on your screen. People's Television, powered by you.
Soldiers
holders helping Nigerian voters fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislatures.
This is coming together of people who are confused.
Executive order should comply with the law. I personally dissociate myself completely.
From this interview, because you have said
there had hardly been any administration.
No religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is.
People of Nigeria, I say don't back Odin. From my side, it's good as the banner, because even human being, you no go to the drink Odin. I beg, it's good, make a banner. We don't want them again.
A lot of Nigeria youth that have been taken into codeine have caused a lot of havoc to them, even to the society in general.
The recent ban of codeine is very amazing because that will help the Nigerian youths to face the reality and know what they're doing. Because of then, man, people are taking this codeine and they'll be very slow, they can't even help themselves out. But now that it's banned, I think they have no way to find any excuse, so they will come out, do the right thing at the right time and work for themselves.
I feel happy about the ban of codeine in Nigeria because it has caused so many harms to our youth out there. They over-abuse it. For those it may affect, they can go for other alternative of cough syrup. It's not only codeine that is in Nigeria that is cough syrup.
To some extent, it's okay. In the sense that the abuse is getting out of hand. You see people taking codeine as if they are drinking water, which is causing health hazards to most of us. That, I say, is not good. But think about it the other way around. I need codeine to cure me of one ailment or the other. And for me to go and get it now from the pharmacy becomes a problem because it's banned. So what do you do now? So before the government will come out to say this and that, I think it would be better for government to find out the root cause of why these guys or these little ones, not even guys this time, even women, even politicians, they do it, they take it. Find out why they are doing it, especially those guys outside. Then try to sort out that problem so that it will stop. If you say you ban it, the effect will be on almost everybody. But if you find out the root cause of why they are doing it, it will help us better.
I think the recent ban of codeine is one of the most positive things this government has done so far. And it's a very, very good thing because it will actually curtail drug abuse. Because if you look at Kano and Lagos State right now, they're among the highest abusers of drug, and Katsina State is a very good thing for the youth, and it will definitely grow the level of efficiency and self-sustenance in the country.
Oh my God! Oh, oh, oh!
Election is when we elect our leaders who represent us, and election is my right as a citizen of this country.
Election is a voting process
Election is a voting process, like vote a candidate for a leadership.
It's more like my right to choose the country's leader. My own part to play about it.
Say from layman point of view, is any activity that is aimed at putting people in a position of authority.
It's a platform, an avenue for people to elect those or get into offices, those that they want to represent them.
An election is simple now. It's just people choosing one or two people. The society choosing a number of people to represent, to lead, to coordinate, to do administration. All right.
And now you want my trust once more. Before you can say, what an election is, there has to be an electorate. Somebody has to, vote, you understand, in an election for people of authority to get into power.
The vote is the power of the electorate. All right, so the people brings their power to the table during an election. That's what it is.
I think it's more like us having a say of who goes there to represent us, of who we talk to, that will guide us aright, and give us the benefit of that. Oh, let me not use the word past one. Or give us the benefit that what we need is what we're going to get.
Between the electorate and the election itself, the electorate are supposed to willingly vote according to their conscience, according to what they feel that the capabilities of whoever they want to elect into offices can do.
The electorate, they have the power to elect their leaders because this is a democratic setting, and you know what the meaning of democracy is? Democracy is government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So it is our right as the electorate to elect our leaders.
Only God can judge you now. Only God can judge you now.
Come on, you can't buy my right. It is my right as a citizen, and you can't buy it with money. No amount of money can buy it. So because by the time you sell your right to vote, you're selling your birthright. That's the way I see it.
I think that is laughable. I don't think you need to pay to get my vote, but rather you need to earn my vote. My vote is free. I mean, I don't have to collect anything from you to vote for you. If you tell me what you are going to do, and I am okay, and I believe that voting you, will mean realizing such aims and objectives, then I will cast my vote for you. I don't need to take money to vote for you.
That's a lot of money. My power is all I have got. All right, so if it's like I'm selling myself to you. If you pay me and I give you my power, my vote is my power. So it means you are ready to pay a whole lot of money. It's like I'm selling myself to you as a slave. You have total control over me. So that would be difficult to sell, actually. That will be very, very. In fact, it's difficult to explain. Well, but it's also simple to explain. If I give you my power, I have sold myself to you. So why should I do that? It's my vote during an election is my power, is everything I am.
It's not a matter of money, because it's about my generation now. Trying to cause a change. There is no money whatsoever that one has to pay to get the right leader. The money can finish, but when the money finishes, what happens? What's next? That's what we're looking at.
You can only offer me your conscience and nothing else. The conscience that I have to believe that when you get in there, you represent me well. I don't believe in selling of votes, and I can't do that. So my vote only can appeal to your conscience, and that is exactly what it is. If I find out that you cannot represent me well based on your antecedents, I can't at all vote you in, no matter how much you're giving to me.
I don't need anybody's money to vote. If I want to vote, I'll vote for someone I choose to vote for. Not because of the money.
See, all I wanna say is that they don't really care about us.
That is the pain of the problem, the pain of the issue here. Collecting money and then selling your votes. You're selling a whole generation of yours. Very wrong. So people should vote according to their conscience. No matter how much they're giving you, let them go with their money. Vote according to your conscience. And when the person comes in, he will know definitely that he did not spend any money. He has come to do work for you. And he will definitely do the work. But when he buys your vote, what do you expect him to do? Definitely nothing. If I come to you and I buy votes from you, you don't expect me to do anything for you. So if they should have any expectation on the incoming administration, they should, from this very moment, begin to reorientate themselves, begin to understand that once they say their votes, they don't have any moral justification again to ask for the amenities that these people are supposed to come in to provide for them.
They should know that, I mean, when you sell your vote, you shouldn't hold your leaders accountable for anything. Because at the end of the day, when they buy you, you are electing the wrong leaders. And it will in turn rub off on what will benefit our citizens of this country. Because what we're suffering from in this country is as a result of politicians buying a right to vote them in. That is what we're suffering from. So it should be discouraged. It should be discouraged.
If you look at the lifestyle of people who sells their vote, they are in complete penury, living in squalor. They have no hope. Leadership that continues to give out money to buy people's vote in an election will continue to exploit the people. They would continue to refuse to do what they should do. They would continue to keep back developmental projects that is supposed to empower the people and continue to use them as piecemeals during election.
The common understanding is that once you sell your vote, it's like you said your future and you said the future of the unborn. Because one, if you sell your vote, the person who bought your vote from you bought it, with a price and his personal money. And he will have to do business to recoup his money. And by the time he's recouping his money, you will be the one to suffer.
Okay, you look at the children, you look at yourself. Are you really in the right place? Is the country in the right position? Can we compete with other countries out there? When you collect the money now and it finishes, what's happened next? So I think with that right frame of mind, people tend to think twice before they collect money, because at the end of the day, the money finishes, but the person is still there for the 4 years.
So you shouldn't allow politicians buy you over. That is what we are suffering from as citizens, because we elect the wrong people. So at the end of the day, they're not accountable to us. By the time they buy you, definitely they will recoup their money. So as a result, you will not enjoy any form of amenities. What they are supposed to do for us, of course they cannot do it for us, because they are like investors. You invest money, you want to recoup it. So you can't hold them responsible for anything.
Why you keep on deceiving the people, my brother, my sister?
When you get politicians that want to come into power by crook or by any means,
one thing is them having doubts, them not having the consciousness of producing results. When you won't produce results, you tend to pay for something. When they pay them off, they feel they can do anything there because you are being bought over, so you don't have authority anymore.
Of course, they are businessmen. That is what they are. Businessmen coming to sell, coming to buy. So when they come to you, tell them that you are not selling. They will definitely come. They don't have any other thing. They don't have nothing whatsoever to offer the country except that money that they have, with which they will come to buy your vote. And when they enter there, they don't do anything for you.
Why don't we work together so the future will be brighter?
Money politics is the worst type of politics you can experience or have anywhere. anywhere in the world. So our challenge is actually coming to the place of realization, of understanding what you are, what you carry, and who you are. If we can get to that place easily, then all of this would not even come up.
People should begin to, realize that once these people are voted in on the basis of having body of vote, I'm telling you, they will not do anything for you.
As a nation, we should know that those who are buying votes in the first instance do not mean well for the country. And if it is possible, the whole country should revolt against them. Once you see anybody, soliciting to buy your vote, that should be enough reason to reject that person or that political party, as the case may be.
If you vote for money, at the end of the day, the person will be doing anyhow in the power, and you have the right to say anything.
The value of my vote is enormous. It's about the change I want in my country. It's about a whole lot of things, the generation at large. We're talking about what we want to see, the change we want to see in our country. Look at the Western country out there. We are not just closed. The education is down, everything is not working, so we need something to work in this country.
My voter's card has power because it is my right. It is my right, and nobody can buy it.
I dedicate this one to all of the shady politicians. We go promise and fail and make the people live in harsh conditions. Yeah.
On Facebook, like our page and share our posts at People's TV NG. On Twitter, follow us at PTV_NG. Follow us on Instagram at PTVNG. Watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel, People's TV. Visit our website, www.ptvng.com. Subscribe now and join the conversation online. People's TV, people's preferred station.
Did you know that PTV remains the best place to showcase those lovely goods and services of yours? Yes, with our visibility in 36 states of Nigeria and over 50 countries of the world, we definitely have the tallest reach. What are you waiting for? Book your adverts now. Call us with the number displayed on your screen.
You're watching People's Television, your people's preferred station, powered by you.
For innovative research-based analysis, fresh news and programs, join us on PTV, the People's Oriented Station, transmitting on Star Times Channel 120, showing across 36 states in Nigeria, and Channel 77 on Strong Decoder across 52 countries. Yes, you asked for it. Now you have the best of television. You can also follow us on our social media platforms showing on your screen. People's Television, powered by you.
Soldiers helping Nigerian soldiers fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislatures. This is coming together of people who are confused.
Executive order should comply with the law. I personally dissociate myself completely.
From this interview, because you have
said there had hardly been any administration.
want to explain the end of justice
Under the law,
about
no religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is.
Good evening, welcome to the conversation here on People's Television tonight. My name is Daniel Mwaboso. There's been so much talk, the politics, there's so much happening that has brought so much conversation, has given us reason to talk and, you know, discuss matters that have been trending in the polity. Now, the National Assembly is no more sitting. Yes, the planned reconvening for today, the 14th of August, is no more. Didn't happen due to reasons stated by the spokespersons of the Speaker and the Senate President. They both, you know, in a joint statement said that the joint committee that is responsible to look into the INEC budget for the elections needed to submit some sort of reports, and because of that, they cannot meet. It will be baseless to meet. Well, many reactions have trailed that. Many people have come to say, why would, you know, this possible reconvening be postponed? Moving on now, there's so much also to another development story is the fact that there is no date in view for the reconvening of the National Assembly. Many have said maybe they may just reconvene on the 25th of September as they had planned earlier. I mean, is there anything, you know, is there anything that is not seen here? Is there any undertone to the fact that they are supposed to have reconvened or should have reconvened for the sake of the budget and now postponing it? We have barely, say, 6-7 months to the elections, and budgets are not ready yet. You know, many matters no. But the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, and the Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, has informed members of the National Assembly that no date has been fixed for the reconvening of the National Assembly. Now, the two chambers was built to reconvene to consider the INEC 2019 election budget request forwarded by President Muhammadu Buhari. The joint committees of the Senate and the House were expected to meet with the Joint Committee on the Senate on appropriation loans and debts and the Eurobond request after two reports would have been ready. Okay. Now away from that now, let's move on to the by-elections that happened in Kogi, Bauchi, and Katsina State, and all swept by the APC. Don't also forget that a state House of Assembly by-election also took place in Cross River, and that was won by the PDP. Many haven't really spoken about this, but the focus has been on the three federal National Assembly seats that took place, and the APC swept all three, and the PDP had the State House of Assembly seat in Cross River, and that was it was taken by the widow of the late House member who passed on, and the seat was declared vacant in May. Now, so much reactions have trailed the result. The PDP in Bauchi South have come out to say that they would go to court to challenge the result of that election. And in Katsina, it was a landslide victory for the APC. And in Kogi, in Kotonkafi Federal Constituency, Lokoja, where we experienced or we saw, issues of thuggery and ballot box snatching, and even 2 deaths were recorded. And one would think at this point in time, why would we still be facing this kind of issues in elections? But the worst of them all is the fact that food vote buying has become a major issue right now. As reports had it that in the elections, votes were bought from the range of 100 naira to as much as 5,000 naira for votes. I want to wonder where exactly we're heading to with our democratic process, But all of this have brought so much reactions. Let's see this report by Emmanuel Bagudu. As regards the reactions, the mixed reactions we had concerning the by-elections that went down last weekend.
This is one of the newsstands located outside Abuja City Center, and this time our camera lines caught up with these Nigerians doing this. Kari community is a satellite town bordering the FCT and Nasarawa State, and all that these Nigerians are interested in is to interrogate national issues at their level. Now, the burning issue at the moment is the just concluded by-election in Kogi, Bauchi, Katsina, and Cross River States.
The APC, what they plan, they already know that they cannot win the election by free and fair election. That is the reason why APC rigged and been picking the ballot paper. Some area we discovered that they don't even send the ballot, the INEC this thing to the polling unit.
They should actually demonstrate some level of maturity. Very important. They should not be childish and start going there to box themselves. Because there are very important national issues that is before the National Assembly, like the issue of the budget for the INEC. So they have to consider that, and the issue of who becomes the Senate president shouldn't arise for now, should not arise, rather, but this should be handled first, since it's paramount and it's timely. It's very important because of the election that is coming up in 2019. So this one should be dealt with before they could also deal with other issues of who becomes the president, why Saraki should step down, why he should not continue as Senate president.
You can't separate the macroeconomy, how people are faring from election activities. You understand? People are very poor. That's why you can give somebody 2,000, 5,000 naira to sell his, to sell, let me put it this way, to just decided to sell, that has to do with his life, to do with his life and Nigerians. Because when you are not buying, when you are giving me 5,000 to vote for you, in the next 4 years, I can't come and disturb you because you have paid me off.
For Farmers Abbey, the Obudu State constituency election in Cross River State had a lot of issues.
In as much as I sympathize with her that her husband is late, the people are not happy because she's not conversant with the politics of the Obudu people. She's not conversant with their problems. She doesn't understand what the people want at this point in time. You see, politics is not all about compensation. Politics should be service to the people. Politics should be delivering. It should be quality representation. And a woman who probably does not know the terrain, how does she represent the people? How? It's going to be a very difficult task, and I see the people of Obudu being shortchanged in the coming days.
The general consensus here is that Nigerian democracy will only thrive if both government and politicians respect the electoral process. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
Okay, those reports there and, reactions as regards to elections. But the APC has come out to, talk big about the elections. They have described the hat-trick victories as an endorsement of the Buhari Osinbajo ticket for 2019. Now, in a joint statement, the spokesman for the president and the spokesman for the vice president came up together to say, yes, that this is an endorsement, that the president has some sort of goodwill, and, he would win, like it's some good sign that the APC would clinch the presidential seat again in 2019. Let's hear that report by the spokesman of the president and the vice president.
Despite the absence of President Muhammadu Buhari, who is in faraway London for a 10-day vacation, the presidency still remained determined to sustain its grip of the nation's political space via its party, the APC. This became clear in the just concluded National Assembly by-elections in Katsina North, Bauchi South, and Lokoja Kotankarfi Federal Constituency. Laolu Akande is the vice president's media aide. He also remained positive that the Buhari Osinbajo ticket is sellable. The presidency is convinced that it has done well in the past 3 years in areas of security, economy, and job creation, among others.
Is that really an endorsement? Should the APC count their victory on 3 by-elections into the National Assembly? Well, 2019 will tell. Don't also forget that the RAPC has also come out to say that Saraki should declare the seat of Godswill Akpabio vacant as regards his defection from the PDP to the APC. Now, there have been so much contention about this matter, owing to the fact that there are laws and counter laws, and there are clauses and counter clauses as to why a lawmaker or an elected officer should decamp, as to reasons why he should decamp. And if those reasons are not met, then he should, leave or his seat be declared vacant. Now, some of the issues that have come up is the fact that the reason by a court order why an elected officer can decamp, and still retain his seat is on the basis of if there is a problem, a factional problem at the national level of his party. Now, many have also argued that only INEC can determine that status, that if there is a problem at the national level of any political party. Now, many have said there is no problem with the PDP. At the national level, there is no faction, and so there was no reason for Akpabio's decamping. Many have also said that the APC have a bit of issues with their division and all of the drama surrounding them. And the 14 senators that left the party, left on good reasons, and their leaving is justified. Nevertheless, many have argued that in 2014, when there was a massive decamping from the PDP, owing to the fact that there was a factional problem at the national level, was it INEC that determined that there was a problem many of these questions waiting for answers. I'll be joined on the conversation tonight by Prince Kashim Afegwa, spokesman of the RAPC, and he'll be sharing his thoughts on all of these things. Also, the NAS siege, as well as the defections in the political space. We'll go on a short break now. When we come back, my guest joins me. Welcome back to the conversation. Yes, I told you before we went on the break that I'll be having the spokesman of the RAPC join me on the conversation, Prince Kashim Afregwa. Welcome to the conversation.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Okay, first, I would start by asking you of the statement that was credited to the APC, to the RAPC actually, as regards Saraki declaring the seat of Godswill Akpabio vacant. Was that an advice, or was that according to the rule of law? Was that like, we advise you should do this, or was that like he would do it? I mean, what was RAPC stand on this matter?
Well, the law is very clear, Section 68. If you are defecting from a party and your party does not have any division, so to speak, the rightful thing to do is to defect, is to resign, or the Senate President will declare your seat vacant. We have just told the Senate President to apply the law.
Okay, so, but many have also said the emergence of RAPC was employed to cause some sort of rancor, to enable the 14 senators and the governors that defected to defect. How true is this?
It's not true. I don't think a lot of you know the crisis in the APC. I don't think a lot of people know. After the convention, there were certain positions that were not voted for. One of such positions is the National Organizing Secretary. Before it was time to vote, they poured water into the ballot boxes. So they couldn't vote. 6 states did not vote in that convention. So that invalidated a lot of things. That's why we're in court. And so, apart from that, the chairman of the convention committee, His Excellency the Governor of Jigawa State, Alhaji Badaru, was adequately informed of those infractions. He accepted, and at the end of the day, we just went and declared persons, as elected with those kind of portfolio. Now, they set up a committee, they call it Ken Namani Panel. Ken Namani Panel has now recommended that those positions should be invalidated. because they were actually not voting. And the National Working Committee of the APC is saying that they will need to refer to NEC. Only God knows when NEC will hold. So there are quite a number of issues. And we don't forget that ab initio, we stated that because of the parallel congresses in 24 states, so that what happens to the delegates from those states? Who did they vote for? They were excluded. And so when you have an exclusion, it means the process was not foolproof. So it's not about causing rancor, no. We felt aggrieved by these infractions on the processes, particularly not adherence to Article 20 of the APC Constitution, which gave a life to the fact that if you have persons who are unopposed, what you should do is either a ballot or a voice vote. They didn't do that. Go and play the tapes of that convention. So there are quite a number of infractions. And so it was as a result of that we decided to say no. Let's provide, a platform for like minds within the party. And those states where you have parallel Congress will have some of the executives as part and parcel of us, of our National Working Committee. So there's nothing about ploy, no.
But the APC now has swung into action, started work, and there is no plan to call the aggrieved parties together, especially with the parallel conventions that happen.
Don't forget that you said they've gone to work, but don't forget that at some point they told us that they wouldn't lose sleep. But we saw people who were sneaking out at the tick of the night to see some of our members and pleading with them not to leave the party. So it's the way of politicians. They hardly tell you the truth. They hardly come out clean when it comes to issues of political engagement and constructive bargaining. They will rather, you will imagine what happened in the case of Kwankwaso. When they pleaded with him, he went to the president, they had a meeting, they praised him to high heavens. The following day when he defected, they called him all manners of names. The same thing with Governor Otom of Benue State. They praised him, they said, no, he's a man of this, a man of that, he can't go back to his vomit, he did blah, blah, he's a man of integrity. The following day, when he defected, they tried to use 8 men to go and you were taking one of their former governor who served for 8 years, who built the airport that you landed on, who built the road network that took you to your destination, where you were receiving him, he was the one who built the stadium where you were receiving him, and you were saying that PDP crippled the economy of Akwa Ibom State for 16 good years. That's contradiction. That's foolishness. And for me, Akpabio was just being insulted right before his face, but because they say a man with a secret is a lonely man. So because he's got certain secrets in their hands, so he has to keep quiet. Otherwise, he should be able to speak out to say no. For 16 years, Vito Atta, who is now a top notch of the APC, was a governor for 8 years. He laid the architectural design for this state. And for another 8 years, I came on board to build to translate the architecture into practice. And that's what we are having now. Give it to Akwa Ibom, whether you like it or not. If you go there, you see some element of governance in that place, and because of continuity of projects and programs, and even this present governor is doing so well. And so if he's been insulted right before his face and being called uncommon defector, for being an uncommon transformer to become an uncommon defector, it's like taking you from your Olympian height to the rubbles of destruction. So for me, there's nothing strategic about that.
Okay, but I'm talking about Akpabio's defection now. A PDP chieftain has admitted that Akpabio's defection is a blow to the PDP, as they didn't see it coming, and has attributed him to being some sort of king of the South for the PDP in that region. I mean, many have thought this would affect the fortunes of the party, especially in that region, not just in the state.
You see, if elections are to be celebrated on the they be conducting, you can see the roles that individual play. They know that Senator Godwin Akpabio has deep pockets. Don't forget he's been standing trial, or is it that the state has been trying to help him to evade prosecution?
But he's been denying all of that.
To the accusation of 108 billion. He's all over the place.
He's denied all of that. He said the young man who wrote the petition actually withdrew the petition.
See, forget all of
that. He was not under duress to defect.
Forget all of this. We know, do they ever tell you the truth? Do they live within their means? Have you ever seen a governor in this country who will tell you he's been a governor and comes out clean? Have you ever seen one? Would they ever agree? What kind of lifestyle do they live? What's their job for 8 years? The kind of El Dorado that they live in, where do they acquire this kind of wealth? Forget all of that, because the processes have to go through the law courts. You have to be tried, you have to be prosecuted before a verdict can be passed on you. That's the only reason why we put allegedly and all of that. So the state government has been providing an anchor for him and all of that. That is known, and visible to the blind, and is audible to the deaf. So whether he likes it or not, he can deny, but they cannot tell me that for 8 years that he ran the state, he ran it within the best of openness and transparency. No. So
Okay.
to that extent, they have his balls on the hands of the APC-led EFCC.
Okay, now let's talk about the RAPC now. A statement by Godswill Akpabio credited to him saying that if he has to lose his seat, it means that every other defector has to lose their seat, and that the RAPC is not seen as a faction owing to the new allegiance that they have with the CUPP. I mean, doesn't that contradict the fact that
There's no
RAPC
contradiction.
has joined a coalition?
I've told you, there's no contradiction. That's the more reason why they should worry, that there's a faction. If there was no faction, you won't be seeing the leadership of the disputed APC faction going around in the night, robbing mines and trying to reach out to people.
No, but,
you understand?
but the fact that the RAPC has joined a coalition now.
No. We can be part and parcel of any coalition. It doesn't make us to lose our identity. A coalition is not a merger. A coalition is a coalition because you believe in certain ideology or movement or what have you, that certain parties are trying to come together to pursue a particular cause. It doesn't make you lose your identity. We are first and foremost members of APC. I have my APC card. But we are disgruntled by what is happening in the party, the kind of monarchical governance, the kind of maximum rulership that the APC is trying to force on Nigerians. You don't, impunity, imposition, congresses were held and all of that. From my little ward up to the local government executive to the state government executive, nobody will consult you, nobody will tell you what is happening. You are just written and they impose on you. That's not the process of a party choosing leadership that will represent it at different categories or at different levels of government. At the local government level, at the ward level, you must be involved. You must be because all politics is local. When you sit down you are not being cultivated. You are not being told what's happening, and you are not being allowed to vote for who to represent you at the leadership level, at your ward level, ward executive level. The local government is the same thing and all that. You just write a list and somebody is sitting down somewhere and approving all of that. No, that's not democracy. For me, even if you are doing consensus has to be agreeable by majority of your members through a process of consultation and constructive engagement and collective bargaining. You don't have to impose your whims and caprices on the people and say, okay, go to say the leader has spoken and every other person should keep quiet. No, I can't keep quiet. I will speak out. I will say my mind as it affects me because I want to be involved. I want to be able to extract certain commitments from my people. I want to be able to say, yes, I buy into this leadership of this young man. I want to see somebody who has the capacity to lead me at the ward level to be elected into that position. Because democracy is all about election. But when you have scenarios where people just impose lists, of course, we have been saying unity list before now. But we thought that was out of the way, this new generation leadership of party management. But APC came on board with another unity list. You saw it all displayed at the Eagle Square. Then what is the change about? So some of us cannot bear all of this infraction. That's why we decided to say, okay, those who have been screamed out of the old arrangement, let us come together under a platform called the RAPC. I will continue to insist that the right thing will be done. We're in court, of course, so we are not going to discuss some other issues that will affect our position in court.
So what is the RAPC's position in court?
We are saying that the leadership that was produced at Eagle Square does not fall in line with the provisions of the Article 20 of the APC Constitution. Simple. And we are saying the court should declare it null and void.
Now, looking at all that is happening now, we sought the opinion of a lawyer who has come out to say that it's only INEC that can confirm for sure if there is a valid division at the national level of any political party.
It's only INEC?
Yes, and not the fact that a group of people just you know, just leave the party and
INEC
form a group?
INEC does not live in isolation. They live within us. And they are part and parcel of the Nigerian political system. Whether you like it or not, they read newspapers, they see persons, and INEC cannot say we are faceless. I'm not a faceless Nigerian. Neither is the chairman of Galadima, neither is other members of our party a faceless Nigerian. No, INEC knew that, even as observers at the convention knew that the wrong thing was done. So the Article 20 that was not followed, if you don't follow your constitution to do what you say you want to do, then what are you going to follow? It's not a jungle rule. You don't apply jungle justice. You know, justice is the common denominator that brings about equity and fair play. If you don't apply it, no matter how you see it, you are going to have problems. There is no justice in the imposition of candidates. There is no justice in the impunity being displayed. There is no justice in the maximum rulership that has been showcased. So for me, it baffles me when people talk about there's no division. How do you define division? How do you define it? Because as a party member, I have my obligations. I have to pay my dues at my ward level. I have to participate in meetings. I have to also be part and parcel of the processes. If you now skim me out, how do you want me to get justice? How do you want to apply that justice and fair play on me? So a level playing ground has to be created in all situations when it has to do with elections of positions into party offices and into elective positions in governance. So if it's just like INEC is conducting election, and you say there's no need to even conduct election, they just write results and they announce. Then you say go to hell. Then you tell me that all is right. No, what they did at the Eagle Square was a sham. Was a rape on democracy. If we are preaching that we are a party of change, we must be seen to be exhibiting that change attitude. We cannot continue to preach one thing and we are doing another. We must showcase to Nigerians that we're a party with a difference, a party that respects the rule of law and the provisions of our constitution. So to that extent, Nigerians will take us serious. Don't forget, we also came into office by a manifesto. We showcased to Nigerians that these are the things we are going to do if elected into office. 3 years down the line, go and look at our manifesto and what is being done now. There's a sharp difference, a remarkable difference from what we are doing. Restructuring we promised in the first quarter of our government, we are going to set the machinery on motion. Till today, 3 years plus, we haven't seen anything like that. They set up a committee headed by El-Rufai when it was obvious that the discussion had overtaken the country. Nothing was produced. At the end of the day, they came up with a document which is gathering dust on the shelves. So how do you want to interrogate governance if you can't respect your simple documents upon which a mandate was given to you and upon which you promised to deliver on electoral promises?
So what level is this matter in court now?
Well, I think it's been assigned, and so we are going to appear.
Okay. Let's also talk about the National Assembly siege and the fact that there have been accusations and counter-accusations as to the fact that the Senate President and the Deputy and his Deputy are embroiled in this matter. How feasible is it that they'll be embroiled in this matter? How feasible is it that the Senate President and his Deputy will be embroiled in this? In the National Assembly siege by the DSS?
You see, I'll be following the narratives, and I'm quite worried that the APC that prides itself as a party of change, in all this narration, they have not called for an independent probe or investigation into the siege, first to the residence of the Senate President and his Deputy, secondly to the National Assembly. All they'll be hammering is about impeachment this, impeachment that. That tells you that they are the architect of that siege. And that is why we are calling on government to set up an independent probe panel or investigation panel headed by a renowned jurist who will have all the opportunity to look at the issues and come up with a position of what actually transpired. It is not about impeachment this today, impeachment today. What Nigerians are asking for is not about impeachment. It's about governance. Please govern. Please preside over the country. Stop the killings. Provide security. Every day people are being kidnapped. On the way to Kaduna, about 10 people were kidnapped about 3-4 days ago. Reportedly stated all over the place. 4 policemen were killed in Edo, armed robbery encounter, and other civilians. Of course, they were able to gun down 2 or 3 of the armed robbers. Fine. But why should that happen at all? Every day you read newspaper, you see one killing or the other. There is great insecurity. I don't know why the APC is spending so much time and energy hammering on impeachment, I see that to put food on the table of the common man. People are suffering. There is poverty, there is hunger everywhere. Please render service, govern the country. Let us see what you are doing so that life can become better for the ordinary person on the street. It's not about impeaching. If you want to impeach anybody, why are you making noise about it? You want to shoot a bear. You are telling the guy, I'm coming for you, I want to shoot. The bear will fly. And so Saraki has been flying.
Okay, we will talk about the embattled Senate President as well as the reconvening of the National Assembly when we come back from this short break. I'll be speaking with Kassim Afegbua, spokesman of the RAPC, on a few national issues that have been trending in the polity. But we'll be back on the concluding part of the conversation. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is The Conversation, and I have been speaking with Kassim Afegbua, spokesman of the RAPC. And we have been talking about defections, the RAPC's position on the defection of Godswill Akpabio. You know, the thoughts on the fact that his seat should be declared vacant because of what a court order has said on defections. Now let's talk about the embattled Senate President now. Many have said he's been in so much drama. And first, the APC came up with talks as to, okay, you've defected from the APC, you're now in the minority, you should resign. Later, they changed the narrative to saying, okay, because of morality, for the sake of morality, you should resign. And now they're saying, Godswill Akpabio, who was your minority leader, has resigned because he defected. So you should toe the path of morality and resign.
You are looking at 2 different issues here. First, the position of the minority leader is a party position. It has nothing to do with with the nuances of the Senate as a body. It's just for the party to say, well, we're a party of minority members. This is our leader in case you want to interact with us. Then the party of the majority member will say, this is our leader, majority leader, and all of that. So these are not recognized in the Constitution of Nigeria 1999 as amended. The position of the Senate President and the Deputy Senate President are there. Speaker and the Deputy Speaker are there. And the procedure for their removal are also well attenuated in the Constitution. So you don't mix the 2 positions together. Akpabio, whether he likes it or not, he couldn't have defected without him resigning. He can't be a minority leader in APC, his new party. Neither will he be a minority leader. So he has to leave his position. Whether he resigns or not, he naturally ceases to be the minority leader the day he defects. So, but in the position of the Senate President, if there are 5 parties in the Senate, for example, and one of the parties has two members, another one has 1 member, another one has 10, and the others have majority. If in the opinion of the members of the Senate, a member from the minority party, the least minority party, so to speak, they decide to say, you should lead us, and is voted for, he becomes the Senate President of the Senate. He becomes the President of the Senate, elected by members from both the minority and the majority. It happened in the Second Republic. John Washpam became the Deputy Senate President from a minority party, NPP. Honorable Ume Uzeoke was also a Speaker It's from a minority party. NPN was the...
But many have argued that there was an agreement with the parties at the time, before that time.
I am telling you, see, we are speaking the same thing. There was an agreement, there was no agreement, but he was from a minority party. And he was elected on the floor of the parliament. The other person was also elected on the floor of the parliament. What I'm telling you is that it is not automatic that somebody from the majority party should be the headship or the leadership of the Senate or the House of Reps. It is, in the opinion of members of both either House of Reps or the Senate, since we are running a bicameral legislature, to decide who leads at that level of Senate President and Deputy Senate President, or Speaker or Deputy Speaker.
Okay, now let's quickly look at the fact that the National Assembly have moved their planned date for recovery, which was supposed to be today, and it was moving definitely. We do not know. According to this, the statement, there is no planned date yet. Many have said maybe Saraki is developing a cold feet as regards the recovery.
There's nothing like cold feet. I hate to hear this kind of discussions on narratives. What is cold feet? You know the calendar year of the National Assembly. In July, they will naturally proceed on their 8 weeks holidays, which is usual for them. And they are resuming September 25th. Now, you came up with this idea of environment about the money for the INEC elections, for the general elections in February. You say it's environment. When you were submitting your budget, for 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you knew that the election was going to be in February. So when you are preparing your budget, it's expected that you put everything, package everything, and present to the National Assembly, because you know elections will hold in February or March. So we already know these are statutory dates that we don't need to argue about. 60 days before the expiration of one government or 90 days before the expiration of another government. So the federal government ought to have prepared this and put in the budget of 2018. Now you didn't do that. Now you say you want to do environment, or what some other person say comes supplementary. It's not supplementary. It's environment. Now, the National Assembly, what do you need? They have, at the leadership level, they have met with the INEC chairman and they have discussed, and they have given the assignment to their own committee on appropriation to look into all of that. Then when it is time, when they have concluded and they have issues and they have got it to a point that they will need to endorse it, then the Senate will reconvene and the House of Reps will reconvene.
Okay, now
Simple.
quickly, do you think the APC can muster the support to oust Saraki when they reconvene?
How would they oust Saraki? Should that be the problem of APC? Should that be the problem of Nigerians as we speak now? When there is no governance, when there are a lot of leadership failures, when we are drifting towards the failed state, everything seems not to be working. Should that be our priority? How can they muster? They are 53 or 54, give them another 53 or 54. The total majority as stipulated in the Constitution of Nigeria is about 73 to 74 senators. In the case of House of Reps, it's 240. So if you want to remove, please, why do you have to be shouting? Let them resume, then mobilize your people. If you want to, if you feel that you can muster 73 senators, well and good. Then the day that the man knows that he has lost the confidence of top majority of his members, he may choose to resign, or he may wait to be impeached. So why the noise?
Okay, now, finally now, the national chairman of the APC, in his last press briefing sometime last week, said that the APC do not have a problem with the speaker, and that the speaker, praised the speaker and being a bona fide member. But many are still saying the speaker is standing on a shaky ground as regards defection. Do you think the speaker is likely to join or defect?
The speaker is still a member of the RAPC, because he's also disgruntled by what happened at the convention. He was not cultivated. He was not told what happened in his domain. Whether you like it or not, he's a number 4 citizen of the country. He deserves to be treated with respect. And when they did the convention, the congresses right in his area, he was not consulted. He didn't participate because nobody felt it was important, because they were imposing people. The governors imposed the executives at the world level, at the local government level, and at the state level. And they choose their delegates to come and appear. But the speaker was just being magnanimous by attending the event and staying all through the event. So whether they like it or not, the speaker will still move.
Thank you very much, Prince Kasim Afegwa, for joining me on the conversation.
It's a pleasure.
It's been wonderful having you. And I have been speaking with Prince Kasim Afegwa, spokesman of the RAPC, talking about a couple of issues here in the politics. And that is where we wrap it up here on the conversation. Do join us same time next week on another episode. The news at 8 comes in a bit. My name is Daniel Wamboso.
Ours is a country of vast tropical and equatorial woodlands with arid deserts to extensive savanna grasslands, expansive mountains, immense rivers, numerous waterfalls, and mystical forests.